You're watching this timer. Grab your popcorn. We're still out today. We're talking about YouTube. Fire. Tag somebody that might get value from this episode. Welcome to the Prime People Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Conoco. Today, we are talking about all things YouTube. So potentially, you'll never have to pay for another lead again. My guest, Jeremy, is an absolute monster. I actually got to speak with him on stage at No Agent Left Behind. His presentation, I was sitting front row, taking a whole bunch of notes. I integrated it into my YouTube strategy, and I've seen a significant jump. And let me tell you, YouTube is the way of the future. And the ability to create a pillar piece of content and strategy on your YouTube channel will trickle into all of your other content creation, making it so much easier. So buckle up, grab a notepad, tag a friend, and share the show out. Don't forget to hit that subscription and notification button. People like Ryan Serhant, Scott McGilvery, Jeremy, Christina Smallhorn, so many other amazing people have been on the show, and you get to learn directly from them. If you join us live, you can actually join us in the comments like my man, Matt LaMarche, who's here first every week, building a pretty cool YouTube channel as well. So Boca, Michelle Balasari, nice to see you. She's in Boca Raton, Florida. If you're looking for an agent down there, she's an absolute killer. She's part of the Real family as well, as is Jeremy. So that's awesome that she's here. Olivier Maurice, a commercial real estate agent that works on some of the most creative deals I've ever seen in Montreal. So you want to be part of this interaction, jump onto the YouTube channel, hit that sub button, make sure you time block 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday in your calendar, because that's when we go live. If you want the audio podcast, make sure you go find it. The Prime People Podcast links in the show below. That drops every Friday morning, so you can listen to us while you go to work. But I don't want to waste any more time. This guy's time is incredibly valuable, so I'm going to bring on Jeremy. Jeremy, how are you doing today? Oh, you are muted. There you go.
Am I?
You're good. You're good.
All right, good. Man, you Levi, geez. You put me in a string of names that had Ryan Serhant, and I don't know if I'm allowed to be in that string of names, but I appreciate it anyway.
That's awesome. Levi Latzik from Dallas, Texas. Jeremy, you're a joker, Levi. That's awesome. You do, actually, because I care about practitioners, right? I care about people that are actually doing the things they're talking about versus a lot of the fake life coaches that maybe live on apps like Clubhouse that are talking about things they don't actually do. Why don't you dig into a bit of your YouTube journey? How did you get started, and how are we even sitting here?
Yeah. So, I mean, look, anybody that's gone to any coaching event has been told, oh, do YouTube or do this style or do whatever, but they don't really say what and how to do it. Right. So I started a YouTube channel 4 or 5 years ago, just started putting content out there, wasn't consistent about it. And at the end of 2019, I was like, all right, what am I doing wrong here? And I found out the wrong things that I was doing, which led me to do the right things. So I sat down with people like Christina Smallhorn. I sat down with other people that were doing things on YouTube. And I said, how do I take this and create business out of it? The problem I was running into is I was creating content that people weren't searching for. Like, I was creating those funny realtor videos, like real estate dad joke videos. Like, nobody gives a crap about real estate dad jokes. Unless you like real estate dad jokes, then I got a good one for you. What type of outfit does a house wear?
You tell me. I have no idea.
And a dress. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So anyway, so I was doing stuff like that. And as funny as you thought that joke was, the audience felt those jokes were that funny. So I sat down and started really looking into 2019. I said, okay, I am going to sit down and create 4 buckets of content, and I'm going to be uber consistent with this, and I am going to get business out of this. This is what I'm going to do. So I started creating content like what you must know about moving to Austin, what you must know about moving to Texas. Then I started rolling into neighborhood, suburbs, prices, things like that, what people are actually searching for. And so within about 4 months, the pandemic hit. And so I went, great, nobody's going to pay attention to real estate. So first week I said, you know what? I'm just going to sit here, drink, do what everybody's doing, and just hang out, watch Netflix. And I realized like I'm sitting here watching Netflix. I guarantee you somebody's going to be sitting watching YouTube. So you know what? This whole thing in my mind about not selling any homes, I'm going to get rid of it. Every single day I shot 2 to 3 videos, edited them myself. So I've been consistent to that point. Well, lucky enough for me, everyone decided at that time that they want to move to Austin because they want to get out of California, Seattle, wherever, and move to Austin. And so my channel was hitting that stride where people were actually searching for content. So what happened from there, we were doing, 12, 14, $15 million a year as a husband-wife team, putting out content to $50 million a year, 100 million for this year. I mean, it's crazy. And it's all coming from YouTube. I don't spend money on mailers. I don't spend money on advertising. Everything is done on YouTube organically. I don't spend any money putting on behind ads on videos. Yes, I have an editor now, so it costs maybe like 150 a video for an editor. We go out and shoot stuff. So I stuck to those 4 buckets of content. I've moved some things around, trying to gain a little bit bigger audience. So that's been so for 2 years, I've been pounding the pavement, 1 video a week, 1 live stream a week, and then putting out clips from my live streams. So that's been the process for me, and it's done very well for us.
Unpack so much there. And I love how tactical you are, right? Like you have a very clear production schedule, very important. And we're going to get to that in a couple minutes. I'd love to start off with the mistakes that you made early on, right? You talked about the dad club or the dad jokes and whatnot. And I think that would kill on TikTok. You were probably just ahead of your time. But like, what made you realize that that wasn't what you should be posting, or how did you course correct back then?
Well, I mean, look, I was doing listing videos, and that's the time when people are just starting to really dive into listing videos. I mean, if you look at like Brad was doing listing videos around that time at a really high quality, and Brad took off. So I was doing those listing videos and stuff like that. And I was finding that nobody's searching for that address, right? If you're looking for a house in, London, Ontario, like you're not looking for that address. But if you're looking for the best new listed homes for London, Ontario, what are the best new listed homes? And now there's a video of me talking about, hey, look, this home just hit. It's insane. The location of it. Let me tell you all these things about the house. Then let's show you the house. So I was learning that I was putting all this money and time into something that wasn't getting anything back. And part of it was just, I was not doing searchable content. So when I broke it up into the 4 buckets, it really made it a lot easier because now I knew what content I need to put out on a weekly basis. So if you think about it this way, if you have 4 pieces of content that you're going to put out per month, so you're putting them out, what it say, my upload day is Tuesday. I have to have a video out every single Tuesday. If you're just doing listing videos, that shit's so random. Like, who knows when you're going to put that listing video out? Is it every Thursday you're putting out a listing video? Do you have a listing you're taking every week to put out a video? Correct. So I think that's where it's like, you have to have a standard piece of content and then take those videos, unless you're like Brad and doing really crazy videos, and make those videos like a once a month or once every other week. Listing videos are popping out like on Fridays. So people know, hey, on Friday, if Jeremy has a new listing, his new listings are going to pop off on Fridays. But his regular content, what I must know about moving to Austin, what I must know about, buying a home in this area, what are not the good areas to live in. That's what people want to know. So if you're creating content like that, and the biggest problem is what we do as agents, we want clicks, right? We want views, we want clicks, and all I cared about wasn't views or clicks. What I cared about was getting business. So I made a really poignant shift to talk to what my audience needed to be. When we make these listing videos and we put them on Facebook or wherever, like we want the vanity metrics of that. We put them on Instagram. We want the likes. We want the comments. We want all that good stuff, which is great. Engagement, which we'll talk about later, is key for all of those platforms. The challenge is, how often do you make money off of creating content for realtors? Very seldom. And guess what? Realtors, if you were to send me a video, Justin, you're like, Jeremy, I've killed it on this video. Watch it. Here's the link. I'll be honest with you, dude, love you to death. I'm going to watch 30 seconds of it, and then I'm going to get bored and bounce out. And that's why agents, a lot of people are doing this sub for sub thing, right? So, hey, Justin, sub to my channel. I'll sub to your channel. And so I was doing that too. I needed subs. And you aren't my target audience. So you'd watch a video for 30 seconds, or I'd post it on Facebook. Hey, I did this crazy video. Watch it. You watch for 30 seconds. Facebook goes, well, we don't want to we want to suppress this. We don't want to put this out there because we don't like YouTube links on Facebook. And now what's happening is you have all these people that aren't watching your videos. They come in, they'll might write a comment, hit a like, but YouTube looks at the analytics and go, but they only watch for 30 seconds. This video must suck. So guess what happens to that video? Nobody sees it until you leave it alone for a few months. And all of a sudden YouTube finds a way to put it out there. Like I have videos that are 3 months old, and all of a sudden look at my analytics and it's like 4,000 views. I'm like, what the hell? I think Levi, who's on here, was talking about a video he did about homes under 300,000 the other day. And that video just popped off and that like created his career. So if you're making content, you're typically not one piece of content that is going to get you a ton of business. I know agents want to put out a piece of content and go, okay, where's the business? The problem with YouTube is you have to be consistent, and YouTube's going to find where to put that content. And once they do, you're going to be rolling in dough. But if you keep messing with the algorithm by having other people try to watch videos that they don't want to watch, or you're sitting that people aren't the target audience, you're messing with the thing that's trying to help you.
It's such a concise breakdown, and really is a paradigm shift. I read, or I'm reading Daryl Eves' YouTube formula. Ray Allen's actually doing a book club on it, I think at 2:00 today.
Oh, nice.
And I really did realize what an impact that had. Like, I actually don't want to send people to my YouTube channel that aren't people that should be watching. That's why even for the Prime People podcast, like I'm talking to you like 10 years ago. I'm talking to, Megan Luker's here. I see a whole bunch of other people in the comments. Hi, Megan. Nice to see you. Like she's my audience. So when I'm actually pointing people to the show, typically it's people that I know are going to be bought in, and they probably don't realize the quality of it. And they're going to get engaged if the content's good enough. On the YouTube side of things, though, when I separated out my real estate channel, that's when I started to realize that, I always thought it was subscribers and the numbers of views. And then as I got into it, I'm like, oh, it's not that at all. It's retention, it's watch time, and then it's going from suggested or searchable to suggested.
Right.
So can you explain that a little bit for people so they can understand that paradigm?
Yeah. So with the suggested, you want your videos to show up in suggested. So when you're searching, let's say and this is really important too. So when you're searching for something, like let's say you're like, what I must know about living in London, right? So you're going to see on the side suggested videos, or when you go into your platform or go onto YouTube, you're going to see all these recommended videos, right? Well, those videos don't get there by chance. They're videos that you're most likely going to click on because you've searched something in the past. So when you're creating content and you're taking that video and sending it to somebody that doesn't going to watch that, you're taking the opportunity from that being on a recommended list. What happens is when you get on a recommended list, you're going to see, like if you're searching and you're looking at watching a video, and all of a sudden I look on the right-hand side on my desktop and there's like 3 other videos very similar. Now, the SEO that you put in there, like the tags, the words, everything you put in there got you on that page. But do I really want to click on that video? What makes me want to click on that video? It's your thumbnail and your title. So you can create really great videos and you can push them out to people, and you could, have all these people watch them, but they're not going to get suggested. They're not going to get picked up, and they're not going to become recommended unless you have SEO, thumbnail, and title. And when you have all of those things and you're looking at the side, watching this video that you're doing, and you look and go, oh, well, let me watch this other video instead. I like this title. I like this thumbnail. Now what that does is YouTube goes, oh, cool. People like this video. Now they start recommending to other people to watch similar videos, because you can go on your analytics and you can look to see who's watching your channel and similar channels they're watching. I guarantee you nobody on my channel is watching Levi's channel. Just kidding. Love Levi. But they're watching like other channels out there, like Reventure, the Crash, stuff, other agents in Austin. I can see who's watching the channels. The thing is, if you look at my videos compared to their videos, it's a ton more views and a ton more engagement because it's getting recommended. And then I'm asking them questions throughout the content. I'm not making it all about me. And I think that's one thing the other mistake agents make is they make the content all about them. You have a one-way relationship with the camera, right? I can see you. I can see you right now. And if we were to watch this, I'd be watching you. But I'm watching from the perspective of the audience. So you need to build that relationship without actually having that audience there. How do you do that? You engage with them and get them, like you're pretending that on the other side of this camera is that avatar, and you're talking directly to that avatar, and people will engage with you. And that's how you get more recommendations, more engagement, more recommendations.
Love the engagement point, and I think the way that you talk to your audience, you kind of made me think about it. I'm like, I'm standing in front of a camera, like I'm sitting in my basement studio about to
Yeah.
head to do a listing video actually after this, and I'm talking to you, and I know you as a human being because we spent time together.
Yeah.
But so many relationships that I have with people have been purely virtual, right? Like
Yeah.
I did meet Brad, but there's a lot of people like Christina Smallhorn and other
Yeah.
people that I consider friends that I haven't had the chance to meet yet. How did you break through the ability to speak to the camera as if it's an audience member? Because I know that's such a wall for people. They just freeze the second they see
Yeah.
the red light.
Well, I mean, look at Glenda Baker, right? She does all this great short form content, and she's sitting there looking deadhead, not
Mhm.
even looking at the camera, but she's talking about things that people want to hear. And she's telling a story and engaging in a story. Now, when you're doing this for a YouTube channel for real estate, what is the story you're telling? Right? Are you telling a story about what's happening in the market? Well, how do you tell that story? You talk about what you're seeing numbers wise, what you're seeing, whatever, if you're doing like a market update video. If you're doing a walkthrough on a home and talking about a specific builder, how do you communicate and get people to engage on those videos? Well, you say things like, wow, this is the craziest range hood I've ever seen. Have you seen anything like that? And do you think it's worth this amount of money in this home? I think it's worth it. Do you? Okay. Now what's happened is you've allowed that person who's just sitting there watching you to go, oh, well, yeah, no, I like that. It's cool. And so the more you can create engagement like that and talk about, like, I talk about builders and the stuff builders are doing. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I'll be like, hey, look, builders are terminating contracts. Have you seen this? I want to hear from you. This video is not just for me. People read the comments and they communicate with each other in the comments. So make sure you're communicating with the people in the comments. Now, what are people doing? They're reading the comments, they're listening to me, and they're talking, and you're creating
Jeez.
people arguing with each other over dumb stuff in the arguments. Like, you get like people like, oh, don't do controversy. I can't do controversy because
Yeah.
that creates engagement. YouTube's gonna like everybody's like, oh, I need to have 100% thumbs up on all my videos. Forget that. I'll take 50%. I want people arguing on my videos. I want people communicating on my videos, not just
Mhm.
arguing. You know what I'm saying? But like, you want people
Conversations,
talking.
right?
Yeah,
Like
you want the
poignant conversations.
conversation. Whether it's good, bad, indifferent, YouTube sees it all the same. So like when you get trolls on there, they're like, oh, Jeremy's just selling real estate because he's a real estate agent. He's not going to
Yeah.
ever say the market's going to crash, right? I'm like, oh, bless your heart. Been doing this for 7 years. I'm glad to have great audience members like you, great people watching my channel. I'm so glad to have you as a fan.
Yeah.
What does that make them do? I hate you, you piece of shit. I don't want,
Yeah.
and they're just laying into you. And you're like, oh my God, you're such a big fan. Thank you. I'm not your fan. No. You're a huge fan. And after like 10, 15 comments, you go, by the way, every time you comment, it helps the algorithm. So no matter what you say, positive or negative, you are becoming a fan of mine. They instantly stop.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I went down a wormhole last Friday with a guy, exactly that conversation. I know, don't feed the trolls, but I'm like, we got into a pretty good discourse about it and kept it
Yeah.
tactile and very friendly. I was like, we could probably go fishing together. Like I
Yeah.
understand I play a real estate agent on TV, but I'm a dad. Like I have
Yeah.
hobbies. I like F1. Do you like F1? And I started going down this wormhole with him. 27 comments later,
Yep.
it finally stopped, right? I
Yep.
never was insulting. I never engaged.
Yep.
But I was thinking about that the whole time. So that's actually like seeing engagement on your channel is
Yep.
helpful.
Well, and that's good too, because look, people assume that as real estate agents, all we're doing is selling homes. That's what,
Yeah.
but if we go, well, yeah, I understand that. That's a common thing that I get on this channel. Everybody thinks I'm here to sell homes, but I've never once on my channel asked you to buy or sell a home with me. That's up to you if you want to reach out to me.
Yeah.
I'm
For
giving
sure.
you all the information that I have that I'm seeing on the ground. I'm taking that with the big data that comes out. So I'm giving you everything that I'm personally seeing. Now, if you think the market's going to crash because of the same data, that's okay. That's okay. My job is actually to help people make good financial decisions. So you might see me as a realtor, but I am making good financial decisions for myself because guess what? What you don't understand is if the market were to crash, I'm going to buy more real estate.
For
I'm going to
sure.
buy a lot more properties. I'm going to start flipping more properties because it's lucrative to me. So yes, I get it. You think it's going to crash. I would love it to crash personally because I have all these investors I could just sell stuff to all day.
100%.
So yeah, anyway.
No, that's a super interesting conversation. You're killing it in my comments and clearly good at engagement. And I want to thank
Yeah.
you genuinely, like from the bottom of my heart, when I do these episodes, I would do them if it was just me and you, right? Because I do
Right.
feel like I gained so much knowledge by getting around like-minded individuals, and you made me think differently about how I'm conversing with my audience
Right.
and giving them the permission to engage. But I
Right.
want to jump into the questions. Let me scroll back up to the top. Somebody was asking if you can clearly define what the 4 buckets are that you were speaking about.
Yeah. So everybody's going to be different here, right? So let's look at like Christina Smallhorn as an example.
Mhm.
She's got 200,000 subscribers. She talks about tiny home, land, affordability, and market. Like those are her 4 buckets. So everybody's going to be different because everybody's market is different. Everybody's audiences are different. There's an agent here in Austin that all he does is do walkthrough videos of new construction homes. That's it. That's all he does. And he's got a great channel and a great business from it. So you could marry that with what's happening in the market as far as like a market update video. Now, I don't recommend doing a market update video because again, nobody's going to click on the word market update this week, right? Nobody gives a crap about that. But if you're able to take the data and go, okay, here's a cool video for a market update where I say prices drop, how much further are they going to drop? Okay. Now people want to know how much further are they? So this week we saw this. This week we saw this. Here's what happened. Here's what happened over the last month. Here's what my clients are seeing. Have you seen the same things? What are you seeing in the market? When you're doing content like that, people are going to click on it because they want, and that's what helps you get recommendations as well when you're putting in content that's relevant. So my buckets are this. I have a market update video, never called a market update video. My second bucket is newsworthy things happening in Austin. So
Cool.
If Ken does a very good job of this, I want to steal it from him, but he does the coming to Orlando. So he talks about things that are coming up. So like projects that are coming up, things like that. I want to create content like that, but I usually take like one article and be like, Zillow just did this. Let's break this down. So I'll make content like that. What's happening in Austin and then builders. So a lot of people are buying new construction. So I have a whole bucket that's all just about builders, price drops for builders, builder mistakes, things you shouldn't be doing with builders, stuff like that. So it's more like of an educational. I also do walkthrough videos, but I don't put those out as my standard content on Tuesdays. So then what we do as well is we take the live streams that we do on Wednesdays. We have it called Real Migos. We'll do a lot of the news stuff. And then, so we'll take like obscure articles of stuff that's happening in Austin, and then I'll cut that into clips and put those on clips on Sundays.
I was chilling there yesterday, making chicken, actually hanging out, watching you guys in the chat.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You're on it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's an interesting dynamic. Let's dig a little bit deeper, right? Because now you're talking about a live show, like the opportunities from a financial perspective on YouTube, regardless of the fact that you're generating actual active business, right? So deals and closings. You look at people like Emily Bunker, Legal Eagle. You look at people like Christina Smallhorn that have literally built super chats and giant live stream audiences. Aside from the active business, where do the other opportunities lie on YouTube when it comes to income generation over and beyond just actual clients?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you can get paid from YouTube, the live streams. If you're monetized on here, Levi could easily drop you $10 right now, Levi. So Levi, drop this guy $10 for the live stream that you're watching. So, I mean, people will drop the super chats and stuff like that as well. So, I mean, you make money from that. I had a conversation with Byron Lazine about what I could be doing as far as marketing on the channel. I haven't done a whole lot of marketing or paid stuff because when I refer people, I want it to be for people that I actually work with.
For sure.
And so, one thing you could do on a YouTube channel is have it linked to your website, but have a hyperlink on your channel, top vendors to use, and they pay for a spot on your website, right?
Yeah.
So all the top vendors that you use, that's one way to do it. Look, if you're doing a real estate thing like this, right, you could talk about all the equipment you're using, drop Amazon affiliate links for all the equipment you're using, and then boom, you're making money off that. So you can create merch off the live stream. We started to do that with the live stream with Real Migos, and it started off really well. I just didn't have the time or patience to pay attention to it. So we stopped doing the branding stuff, but branding, merch, affiliate links, all this stuff are ways to get paid from YouTube that you didn't even think of other ways to generate revenue. And nobody's really thinking about them. They're thinking about, I just want to get business from YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, I get paid from YouTube. Obviously, I I'm at a brokerage where we have a great downline system. So people will reach out to me, be like, so tell me about this real thing. So that's an income generator as well from the channel. That's not something I'm like promoting. It's just another side benefit to doing what we do on a daily basis, which is become media personalities. That's all realtors are now, or what you should be as a realtor is a personality or a media personality. Create a media company. You want to make money in real estate? You make money by selling stuff to other realtors. Well, create your own media company, sell that.
Yeah, very accurate. I think I'd say this to clients all the time. I'm not really a real estate brokerage. What I own is a marketing company that happens to specialize in real estate, and that's where my expertise is. And it's interesting that how you broke all that down. Maybe I could do Amazon affiliates for all the equipment I've bought and never actually use, because I probably have more of that equipment than I have the key things I use. But everything you said, like, I have some affiliate relationships with Sean Cannell's organization, vidIQ, like things that I actually use that people could click on my website because I actually use them and I 100% believe in them. Are there rules and regulations on YouTube around disclosing, if you're dropping links, what those affiliates are and kind of the structure there? Because I think that's an important thing to highlight.
I haven't seen anything that will stop you from doing that. If you're doing a paid advertisement in a video, right, you have to disclose that. And you
like
actually
a product review type thing.
Yeah, you actually have to, like, in the back end, you actually have to put that is a sponsored video. So there's things like that. But, like Christina, great example. Christina talks about tiny homes and all that stuff. Well, she partnered with a company that creates sheds. So like you can have your own like office shed because everybody needed space away, working from home. And so she affiliated with one of those, put the branding information in a couple of videos, and they're paying her for every time they sell one from her channel. I mean, that's crazy.
And it's cool because she's transparent about it. Like, I've always pushed back on my side of the fence. I don't sell courses. I'm not for sale. Everything I give is to give back to the community and whatnot too. And actually one of my friends told me very privately, she's like, you're actually hurting your audience by not sharing with them the ability to use vidIQ or go to the VRA Academy and do the things that you're doing. It's just how you frame it and being transparent with them. I think ultimately that's one of the most important parts.
And look, that's the whole thing about, if you're going to build a YouTube channel, you have to build rapport and relationship with your audience. The best way to do that is just to be honest. And I think that's what separates my channel from other channels, is that when we talk about things, I'll give people the brutal honesty, good, bad, or indifferent. And so that's why people watch, is because I'm going to be honest with you 100% on what I see. I could be wrong for sure, but I'm telling you the way I see it, what I'm seeing, and I'm going to be honest with you. The problem with most real estate agents is when they start a YouTube channel, they start it wanting business. So what happens is you go, okay, I'm going to do this video on this listing. Great. Hi, I'm Jeremy Knight. I'm a local Austin realtor. We do $50 million to $80 million a year in real estate. We sell big $1 million homes like this. Let's go take a look at it. Give me a call if you want to buy a home.
For sure.
Okay. When you start a video out like that, if you started any of your videos like, hey, vidIQ, the best thing you can buy. If you're a realtor, you should buy vidIQ. I'm Justin. I use them. Buy vidIQ. People are going to be off of your video in a second. So what you say in your videos is really important. And this is how I structure all my videos. Every single one's the same. This is something I've done over time, but it's like this. Is the market really crashing? Austin is on fire. Jeremy Knight, the Night Group, your favorite Austin realtor. Yep, the numbers are out, and here's what we are seeing in the numbers. I'll do a couple of little things like, oh, by the way, before we get any further, make sure you drop a comment below. What have you seen in the market? Are you seeing these things? What are you purchasing? Are you just done? If you're just done, right, I am freaking done. And I want to hear you in the comments. Okay, so the market numbers are this. When did I sell myself? I said, Jeremy Knight, your favorite Austin realtor. That's
buried. But you barely even noticed it when you said it. Like, I actually had to like do a double take in my brain and be like, oh, he slid that in there. Because it was the smallest part of the conversation.
And 9 times out of 10, when I have a client that I meet for the first time face to face, they will always go, Jeremy Knight, my favorite Austin realtor. It's good to see you. Because I've embedded that in every single video.
That's amazing. Yeah. Audio branding too, right? Gary Vee talked about this a while ago too, of when he would start his podcast, it'd always be that same sound every single time, which conditioned the user to realize that, okay, I'm buying in for this experience, but you have to earn the trust of the audience. And I think that's so critical.
That's actually, that's pretty interesting. Cause like Graham Stephan and all these people always say, and to help the algorithm, hit the like button. What would be really cool, and I'm going to try this out on my next video, is instead of saying well, I'll do the comment thing, but I'm going to go like this and just point like that in the video. And at that time, it'll be that swoosh, the click button to subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to do that. I'm going to try that.
Yep.
It's like, here you go.
People, you're actually, it's interesting because the psychology of YouTube, you're removing friction, right? At the entire time you've built your channel, as you're talking, I'm like, oh, you're removing friction and helping people find the videos they need to find and realizing you're not the hero. It's the whole story brand mentality of find out what people are searching for. Do you fill that niche and do you go down that way? We have so many comments and questions, so we're going to jump into that. Before you do that though, just jump in, smash that subscription button, that notification button, and slide that right in there. Give Jeremy a follow as well too. It's super key. I'm not very good at that part of the whole YouTube piece, but we got Megan Luker. She was asking, do you use TubeBuddy to determine your SEO strategy with each videos?
No, I don't have a TubeBuddy subscription, a vidIQ subscription, nothing. People think I'm crazy for that. Yet I know that SEO is not the most important piece. It is one piece, but it is not the most important piece. Now, people go out there and sell these courses for $2,000, $3,000 to teach you how to use SEO. Okay. But does it actually get you business? That is the point, because what happens is those same agents then write their SEO word vomit title, and then they take it and they put it in their thumbnail. Yeah. And so you have word vomit on the thumbnail, word vomit on the description or title, and you've done everything but what you need to do. So I think it's important. Use TubeBuddy, look and see what the SEO is. But even Christina said the videos that she's SEO'd out to the tens has not performed at all. Yeah. Because the SEO isn't the most important piece. Your thumbnail and your title are most important. I could take the same video you do, the exact same video, like we could say it word for word verbatim, same thing. You do a title and thumbnail and I do a title and thumbnail, and I guarantee you, maybe not you, but guarantee that other person, my video will get way more views and more engagement than yours will. Because I understand how important that thumbnail is and how important that title is. Let's say we did a market update video, Justin, and you did your title, the crazy market update for London, Ontario. Pretty decent title, right? And you just put you standing there with a nice suit and maybe something in the thumbnail. I did London, Ontario, seeing dramatic changes in the market. Which title would you click on? And then I'm going like this, like, now we're saying the same thing in the whole video, but me doing this is more clickbaity than you just standing there doing this, right?
I'm muted and I was pulling something up because I wanted to showcase exactly what you're talking about. Christina gave me this advice a while back and it really stuck to me. You know, I use vidIQ, but it's fascinating because I went through a stint where I didn't use it at all after I talked to her because I just wanted to understand the proper titling. Actually, I was using Jasper.ai to mess around with different titles from an AI standpoint to see what that looked like. But here's actually the market update video I just did on my Prime channel. By the way, your videos are going to get more views than mine because you're like probably a black belt or like a 4-stripe brown belt. I'm on my way, but I appreciate you being very kind to me and saying that you know, mine might get the same views, but I'm not there yet. But let me share my screen. I want to show you what I did with this video. This is on the Prime channel. Let me pull it up super quick. Of course, an advertisement's playing because this channel is monetized, but my personal one isn't. Okay, so I'm just going to stop on this for a second. So Canadian housing market update, what you should know. Christina was like, and I don't have that many subscribers on this channel, 2.6, and I got 2,200 views from August 1st. Like it really took off at the beginning faster than a lot of my other videos. And from a thumbnail perspective, actually, let me see if I can pull the thumbnail up super quick for you guys. Let me go to my channel, go to my studio. I'll show you what I did.
Let's talk wall art. I used to do this all green screen. So this is about as clever as I can get for wall art. So, yeah.
So Matt's saying that because he sees the Porsche in the corner. Matt's a huge Porsche aficionado.
Yeah, I got a 911 4S, Matt, 2018. It's
beauty.
Gorgeous.
So this thumbnail actually, and you can see Christina's fingerprints all over this, right? Like one big background image, you know, 2 other clear dots, no more than 2 or 3 words.
Yeah.
And when I started doing this strategy, it changed the game for me in terms
Mhm.
of click-through rate and then the content retention. That was the next part, right? So
Yeah.
is this kind of what you're talking about? Title,
Yeah.
thumbnail, these two things right here?
I would almost like the Canadian housing market. I would change that and go, what you must know about the Canadian housing market.
Well, the good thing is you can actually go back and re-optimize and see what happens. So we'll find out live on this channel only on
Yeah.
this
There
podcast.
you
Do
go.
you see things like that
Yeah.
happen? So, super insightful. And Olivier, oh wow, we had a whole bunch of other comments. Moving to Durham region, pumped for the chat. First takeaway, let the algorithm do the work.
Yeah.
Cahill knows. Got my first listing off YouTube last month. Huge thanks for you
Well,
paving the way.
that's a really, really important comment right there. Khalil, I want to know, did you do a specific video that got you business for sellers? Because what I always hear is a critique from most people, especially the last 2 years. I don't want to work with buyers. I only want to work with sellers. And on YouTube, you only get buyers. Pretty important comment that he just got a listing off of YouTube. The thing is, what you talk about expands. So if you're beginning this year, I did this strategy. I go, you know what? Sellers are running into issues. And you know what? Sellers this year will sell too late because how the market typically works. So I did about 4 videos early in the year talking about what sellers face, what they're going to face in the market. They're going to sell too late. They need to sell before June. Guess what? I made a video in August. See, told you, you should have sold your home before June. Now it's the last half of the year. Let's talk about what you need to know for selling a home. I'm getting a ton of listings. I'm going on more listing appointments than I ever have because I'm making sellers part of the conversation. And then I'm walking through properties that they may want to buy in the future, right? I'm walking through really nice upgradable homes. So you're getting that move up buyer, right? So those are all things that, people that are buying homes, like, I don't really like doing the thought of like making a move up buyer video because I feel like every agent could do that and it's super easy and doesn't really get searchability, but you could do a whole video, the trouble move up buyers run into. Okay, what trouble is that? What do I run into? Well, here's what you're going to run into as a move up buyer. Now I've just totally changed that move up buyer like mentality going into that video.
Super key. So Khalil, if you're still here, please respond. We would love to know what video you did that actually generated that.
Yeah.
One of the first actually listings I got off YouTube really made that light bulb go off because everybody had said the same thing.
Yeah.
I just realized I need to tell my landscaping company not to cut my lawn while I'm doing the show live. So you
Don't
may
worry,
hear
we can't hear it. You're good.
No, amazing. I appreciate that. We also had Olivier Maurice. He was asking another question. He said you would ask your viewers on YouTube actual questions to get comments. What you just did there, right? Asking Khalil is an example of what you were talking about, correct?
Right. Exactly. So yeah. And so like when you're doing a live stream, doing this is super important because the more times you go through and like you can have a topic you're talking about, right? But the more you engage with the audience and make them part of the conversation, the more they'll come back. Like you were on, I'm like, oh, Justin's on. I'm going to be on his thing tomorrow. I'm really stoked about that. Like you're like, probably like, we're like, oh, cool. Let me listen to some more what they're going to talk about. And I just bounced on to the next thing. But that keeps people engaged. And so the more you interact with the people, whether it's live or not live, the more it's going to be beneficial. Because look, people want a reason to take their fingers and hit the keyboard. Give it to them. Allow them to do it. Give them the reason to hit that keyboard again.
So if you're watching this show, type in one thing that you learned in this episode when it comes to YouTube, or thank Jeremy. We got moving to Durham region as well. Clearly a phenomenal YouTube channel about Durham region. What resources are you using for a B-roll, sounds, and etc.?
A human.
Yeah,
human. I have an editor who, so here's how I do all my videos. And this is even when I was doing the green screen, when I hired an editor. So we'd go out and we'd film stuff and he'd shoot B-roll everywhere we went. But once we started doing more content, here's what I did. I would shoot my content. It'd take me, 20 minutes to film a video. I would take it then and I would cut it down to the 8 to 12 minute time frame that I wanted. And then when I was using the keyer or using the green screen, I would key in the background, shoot it over to him. And maybe I would screen record what I was talking about and I'd send him the screen recording. What would he do? He's probably tied into all these B-roll companies. So he would just take B-roll that fit what we were talking about. But then he had B-roll for, when we were talking about downtown or whatever. So he's got all these different B-roll pieces. So there's companies out there you can do it. There's actually free, like Pixel, I think you can do free. So there's places you can get B-roll for free. It just takes a little bit longer to get it. There's free stuff. Just type in free B-roll and you'll be able to download some good stuff.
One of the sickest hacks I ever learned, and I'll share this with you, Mr. Durham Region, as well, is go to Google. And if you're going to shoot a video, type in the title of that town. Look at the first 5 images that pop up, because Google will show you what the most popular places that people take photos are off those 5 images.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then grab a GoPro or grab your drone, and then every time you go there, grab that and build your own data bank. We've built our own proprietary data bank of all the areas that we cover. So if I'm doing a listing video today, we're actually going to Goderich, doing a full-blown listing video. And a lot of fun with it. We're doing a neighborhood tour right after, because we're there anyways. So we're just layering up the time, and it's going to be similar footage we use for the video that we have. And we just got to think of it as best use of time, right?
Right.
Awesome. So I want to be respectful of your time. Going to get you through the rapid fire round of questions, and I will get you out of here. In the meantime, everybody go find Jeremy on the links below. If you're listening to the podcast after, go find him at The Real Jeremy Knight on Instagram, or send me a DM. If you can't find him, I'll make a personal introduction. So Mr.
Absolutely.
Jeremy, are you ready for the rapid fire round?
Let's go.
What is the greatest lesson you've learned up to this point?
That's a good one. I would say the biggest lesson I've learned is, oh God, that's a good one. Don't sell. That's one that the biggest lesson is don't sell, because like we were talking about, people mad about you saying the market's not crashing.
Sure.
So every time you try to sell on YouTube, like you end up hurting yourself more than anything. So I'd say don't sell, just be genuine.
Awesome. What are you learning right now? Because you obviously have a good base of knowledge in YouTube, but there's got to be something new you're learning. What is that thing?
So I'm learning to do different content than what I'm doing now. So I'm trying to grow my audience to be not just Austin based. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. Is it to create a whole second channel? Now I have a second channel called Agent Content Creators, where we do this exact same thing right here. In fact, now you're gonna have to be on my channel. So we do that. But I'm trying to figure out, because doing the same thing for 2 years, a very similar thing, talking about YouTube and talking about real estate gets boring. So I'm trying to take this into a new realm where I break out and do more like cultural stuff, what's happening, like more like relative new, like more accurate news reporting, where I'm taking this to just being virtually a news reporter for Austin.
I absolutely love that. I think it's very insightful too. I was discussing with somebody that was in media for a very long time about how it is hard to find good sources. So I think that's an open white space or blue ocean for you. How has failure shaped your life?
It's a good one. Every time there's a major failure, it's like, I'm not going to do that again. And it's those failures that have pushed me to do things that I wouldn't have, so think about doing the YouTube thing. For a long time, people gave me a lot of crap for doing YouTube. And so every time I would fail and videos would go out and they wouldn't do well, so I'd be like, see, YouTube doesn't work. Oh, whatever. And so it took me failing for kind of like 2 years on YouTube to figure out what I need to be doing right. And so that's why when I do these talks with agents, when I go out and do YouTube talks, I talk about the things that will help you, that the mistakes that I made that will help you not make the same mistakes I made.
Phenomenal advice. And everybody that I respect, and literally everybody to a T that's been on the show has had an answer similar to that they used it for growth. The most important question: how can I add value to you? You made time for me and my audience. How can we give back to you, my friend?
I think you should definitely come on Agent Content Creators and we talk about what you're doing, because let's be honest, you're the one selling like $1 billion a year in real estate and doing cool stuff. So
stop it. I like the reverse compliment there. I will come on. Like I said, everybody go follow those channels as well. Megan Luker says she's going to work on her thumbnails and her titles. I think that's key. Olivier says the tidbits you've given him have really helped him improve his content 10% or 10x. So appreciate you, Jerry. You go kill it. I know you got a busy schedule. I'll be there supporting and sharing it out, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah. We'll see you soon.
All right. See you, brother. Take care.
Bye.